What's going on, everyone? This is Vince from Life with Vince Luu. The format of my daily vlogs: I share my exercise for the day, I answer questions that were asked from my YouTube community in previous videos, and then I talk about whatever I want to talk about for that day. So feel free to use the timestamps below as you see fit. Exercise for the day was able to go on a short 4-mile run. Gonna throw the map up here, split up here. And yesterday I did 1,000 pull-ups, but before the 1,000 pull-ups I also went on a 1-mile run. So I'm gonna throw the map up here, split up here. And today, from the 1,000 pull-ups, honestly, I don't feel that bad. My lats are a little sore, but it's mainly this crevice on my elbow. And the crevice on my elbow gets pretty sore when I do a lot of curling or biceps or rowing. When I do it super heavy. So this is from obviously that bend in the elbow from all those pull-ups yesterday. But as far as my lats, it's honestly not that bad. Maybe they'll be bad tomorrow, but we'll see. So let's get to some questions. The first question comes from my fellow Aztec Davis. He asks, how has your channel changed from your initial vision to what it is now? So I started my YouTube channel January 2019. It was that long ago when I started my channel, but I didn't commit until about 3 or 4 months ago when I decided to do daily videos and really put in the time to grow this channel. And when I first started, I really didn't have a solid vision, to be honest with you. All I knew was that I talked about wanting to create a YouTube channel. I talked about it with my friends. I thought about it a lot. And I thought that I had at least a little bit of value to give. So I created my channel in January 2019 in hopes of putting myself out there and to learn, to grow. And really, it was the start of a new year. So it's like, well, why not? Let's do it. Though I guess if I had to pin down a vision of what it was when I first started, I would say that I really wanted to document my life journey. And you probably heard me say it at least a couple hundred times, though I am a big fan of Gary Vee. And if I'm going to listen to anybody about starting a YouTube channel and the content that I push out, it's going to be him. And it's going to be him because he's done it, and he's done it at scale. And I really wanted to treat my YouTube channel as a history book for myself. And I can look back on this in 6 months time, in a year's time, in 5 years, in 10 years, and really just look back to see how I've grown, not only in exercise, not only in jiu-jitsu, but my thoughts, how my speaking is on camera, my editing skills. And my vision for this channel has really evolved, especially in the last 4 months of when I've been super serious about it. And I still want to document my journey and to treat it as a history book. But not only that, one of my big visions for this channel is to create a community like the one that I have right now, and just to make that a little bit bigger, of everyone willing to help each other out. I want to be that cornerstone, or I want to be that person to answer your questions, to propel you forward, and just to have that community of positivity. That is my big goal. And again, it is evolving, and I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different in 6 months time, in a year's time, though right now those are my big 2 goals. Next question comes from Augie Silver Fitness. He asks, if you're not doing a long run, how much water do you typically drink in one day? I usually aim for 1 fluid ounce per body pound, so 133 fluid ounces, though I don't track the exact number. Usually how I measure if I'm properly hydrated is through the color of my urine. If it's clear, I'm good to go. If there is some sort of discoloration, then I'll drink more water as the day progresses. Though, if my urine is clear, I'll still make sure to drink water so that my urine doesn't get to that point of discoloration. Next question comes from my fellow ultra runner, Rossa Runs. He asks, when you set up your nutrition plan, is it generic for the day/week, or is it tailored to each day? I take and if it fits your macros type of approach for my nutrition. So it really depends on what I'm feeling for the day. Though I will say this, I usually tend to eat the same things every single day, at least Sunday through Thursday or Sunday through Friday, just because I like the way that my food tastes. Number one, I would not eat those foods if I didn't like how it tastes. And it tastes like amazing to me. It's not just like, it's okay. It's like amazing to me. And number two, it is a big headache when I'm eating a million different things, because I personally like to track all my calories. And it actually does me a disservice when I'm eating too many things on different days. So I like eating the same things because it's better for my mind and it's better for my mental health, because it really bothers me when I have to weigh everything and there's just way more things to weigh and I don't know what's in this and I don't know what's in that. Though I will say this, that on the weekends, I usually do order in, or we will go out to a restaurant to eat when things are normal. And those are the days when I don't necessarily track, when I don't necessarily care, because I work out so hard throughout the week that usually 1 or 2 days of that, like, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, because the work that I put in will undo whatever that I can't track. But I typically don't like doing it like Sunday through Thursday or Sunday through Friday, and I typically eat the same meals every single day. And to dive deeper in this as well, I'll usually have months at a time, and it's 6 months, it's a year, or it could be 18 months or even 2 years or longer of me eating the same things. And it might change from time to time, though for the most part, it sticks around for a while. For example, I had a sandwich phase, I had a burrito phase, I had a pita phase, I had a lavash bread phase. Right now, it is back to the wrap phase. I put everything in a tortilla. That's what I like. Right now, it is a bagel phase. The bagel phase has been here for, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, but before that it was cookie butter sandwiches. But then I ran that 100 miler and I ate too many cookie butter sandwiches, so I really don't eat them all too often, but they're coming back for sure. And typically I'll plan the day's food the night before. So last night I went on MyFitnessPal and I added everything to my list, my regular foods, and then I'll actually leave 20 to 30% of my calories just so that I can have a little bit of variance, just in case I want to switch it up a little bit. So it's not that I eat everything the same every single day. For the most part, I do. 70% of my total food in the day, it's the same thing Sunday through Thursday or Sunday through Friday, though I will have that 20 to 30% to where if I want extra ice cream, if I want a cookie, if I want Gatorade, if I want a non-diet soda, that 20 to 30% buffer does allow me to have a little bit of variance. Last question of the day comes from Noah. He asks, how has making YouTube videos changed the way you operate daily? Any productivity tips? Making YouTube videos, especially daily, is a ton of work. Usually I'll spend 3 to 6 hours on YouTube activities. This includes shooting, this includes editing, this includes thumbnails, descriptions, titles, tags. Not only that, but engaging with my audience. I answer every single comment back, and then also engaging with my potential audience to make sure that I keep growing my channel. I've had to be really smart and efficient with my time. This means that I have to wake up early. I typically wake up between 6 and 6:30 nowadays, though at the same time, I make sure to get my full 8 hours of sleep. Because of all the exercise that I do, if I get 1 less hour, if I only get 7 hours, I cannot function the next day. Everything's a little bit more sore, and I can't keep putting out the content that I want to put out because I'm not fully recovered. So I make sure to get in my full 8 hours. And you would be surprised if you can wake up a little bit earlier, even 1 hour, 2 hours. If you have those extra hours, you can get a lot more done during the day. I also have to be really efficient with my time, not only waking up earlier, but also making sure that I am capitalizing on my time, that I am not on Netflix, that I am not on any streaming services throughout the day. I have to be very intentional with my time. I've also had to reassess what I actually want in terms of my goals, especially the activities that are going to get me closer to my goals. I've had to ditch a lot of activities that I was doing before that weren't necessarily in line with what I want overall. And because of that, it's brought me closer towards my goals. And again, a lot of it for me especially is intentionality and being efficient. In terms of productivity tips, I am a huge fan of block scheduling. So scheduling out your day by the hour. You can even dial it down even further to 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute if you really want to. Though for me, hours are usually good. And then I also like to leave a little bit of a buffer. So like an hour and 10 minutes or an hour 15, or you can make that buffer within the hour itself. Another productivity tip that I am a huge fan of also are lists. There's just something about making a list, crossing it off, that gives you that hit of dopamine. Because at the end of the day, when you have all the items of your list crossed off, you're like, had a pretty good day. It's official. As of yesterday, June 22nd, 2020, I have been a vegetarian for 1 full year. The type of vegetarian I am, I still eat eggs, egg-based products, and dairy, though I won't go out of my way to buy or eat those types of foods, though at the same time, if it's already baked within my ice cream, within those cookies, or my bread, or that piece of pie, I won't not eat those items because of that. And I went vegetarian solely 100% for recovery purposes. I was actually inspired by Scott Jurek. He is an ultra runner. He is also an author of this book called North. He wrote a book a few years ago called Eat and Run, where he details his journey of ultra running and also his journey of switching from an American diet to a more plant-based diet. And he details that it's helped him recover better, it's helped him recover faster. So I was like, you know what? Let me give this a try and see how I feel. And so far, so good. For me personally, I really do feel that being a vegetarian and eating more plant-based, eating more fruits and vegetables as close as your natural source as possible has not only helped my recovery, but it's supercharged my recovery. And I know soreness isn't the end-all be-all in terms of how to measure recovery. I also measure recovery by how I feel. And I've been exercising for a very long time, so I don't necessarily get sore all the time, though I do know the feeling of what it means to overtrain and what it means to have an overtrained central nervous system. And with that being said, I really do feel that vegetarianism, again, plant-based, really helped supercharge my recovery. When I ran my 50 miler, when I ran my 100 miler, when I did my 1,000 pull-ups that I did yesterday, there is moderate soreness, though I am pretty much fully recovered by 48 to 72 hours. There hasn't really been a case since the past year that I've been really, really sore or really, really crushed, or my CNS feels it after 72 hours. 72 hours is the complete maximum, and this is from running 50 miles. It's from running 100 miles and running 10 miles a day for 30 days and trying to burn 10,000 calories in 24 hours before my Fitbit stopped working and I was on track. And I really do feel, for me, again, this is for me personally. This isn't for anyone else. This is my own experience. It's really helped supercharge my recovery. In terms of how difficult it was to transition to be a vegetarian, for me, honestly, I didn't eat that much meat in the first place. Whenever I would cook, I would put a little bit of meat in my wraps, in the food that I was eating, in my stir fry, just so that I can get protein. So when I went vegetarian, it was just like, okay, just replace it with tofu, replace it with vegetarian sausage. The only time that I do find it difficult to not eat meat is when I'm at family parties or at family gatherings or birthdays or celebrations in where people are cooking, because meat's in everything and it's a little bit more difficult to pick things out and not to eat certain things because it's really infused within the food. And with that being said, I am also not like a super picky vegetarian. If there's meat within the food, I will pick it out and eat it. If it's in the soup, for example, a beef broth or a chicken broth that my mom cooks and she's cooking pho for everyone, I'll still eat the noodles, put it in the broth, and even drink the broth as well. Like, I'm not like that picky. It's not the end of the world if I have a little bit of the meat infused type of food. For example, as well, I went to an empanada place with my girlfriend to try this new empanada place out by our house, and I ordered the vegetarian and she brought out our empanadas. I ate an empanada and I was like, that kind of looks like ground beef. Well, it kind of tastes like ground beef too. So I went up to the cashier. I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure, is this vegetarian or is this ground beef? And she was like, oh yeah, that's ground beef. We'll get you a new one. And I'm like, okay, that's not that big of a deal. And really, it really wasn't that big of a deal for me. And there's been a few cases like that where I am eating like a fried rice or some noodles and there's like a little bit of meat in it, because I pick out the big pieces, whatever I can, but generally I'll still eat it because I'm at a family party and I really don't want to be that guy. And the cool thing as well, going to family parties, is that my family actually caters to me a little bit nowadays, and they'll call me before and be like, hey, can you eat this, can you eat that, what would you like? And generally it's like a potluck style, so I'll bring something vegetarian to that potluck style party. Though a lot of my cousins, a lot of my family, especially my mom, whenever I go home, they'll cater to me, and that's also helpful to them as well, because now they're eating more fruits and vegetables. So there is a right way and a wrong way in terms of being a vegetarian for me personally. It's not necessarily right and wrong, but it's more of super good and not so good. And the not so good version is me not getting enough fruits and vegetables, because you can be a vegetarian but not eat enough fruits and vegetables. You can eat French fries all day, because all being a vegetarian is, for me personally, is not eating meat. You can eat a lot of junk, you can eat a lot of processed foods. When I do the wrong way or the not so good way, my body will react. I won't recover as fast, and that's why I'm in this, because I want to recover. I'll feel more sore, I'll feel more aches, I'll feel more pains, I'll feel crushed, like my CNS is crushed, and I just don't recover as fast. Not to mention that if I don't get enough fruits and vegetables, and if I'm eating too much candy, if I'm eating too much chips, processed food, junk food, I'll actually get dry skin right here. And it's bad. It gets really bad the more that I don't get my fruits and vegetables. And the right way for me is to get more fruits, more vegetables, especially as close as to their natural source as possible. Whenever I go to the store, I try to eat my colors. So I really try to get a wide variety of fruits, of vegetables, not only fruits and vegetables, but grains, bread, anything and everything, so that I can get a wide range of nutrients. I've also had a few people ask me if I'll ever go vegan, and for the time being, I don't think so. I don't think it's in my near future, and I know that going vegan might even make me recover even faster, but there is a flexibility aspect that I have to take into consideration. With being a vegetarian and the way that I approach vegetarianism, there is a huge flexibility factor, whereas being a vegan, the flexibility factor really diminishes. It's going to be even harder to go to family parties. It's going to be even harder to go out to restaurants. And especially, it's going to make all of my food price go up. If I need to buy vegan cupcakes or vegan cake, those vegan items are generally way more expensive than if I were just to get like regular egg-based products like bread. Like vegan bread is pretty expensive, or if someone knows of cheap vegan bread, let me know, but I don't think you can beat the $1.99 Safeway brand of bread. So for the time being, I think I'll just stick to being a vegetarian. And if you're thinking about going vegetarian, I would first start off with replacing just one meal per week, and then that can evolve to 2 and then 3, and then it can be 1 a day, and the next thing you know, most of your meals are vegetarian meals. Also, another big tip, eat the food that you like. Don't eat food that you hate, even if it's vegan, if it's vegetarian. If you don't like it, don't eat it. So thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed that video. Please let me know down in the comments below what you think. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really helped me out. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right here. If you want to catch another one of my videos, there's a video right here, and there's a video right here. See you all tomorrow.